At first glance, the Predator movies look a lot like a random sequence of splatterfests stitched together with heat vision and mandibles, but put them in chronological order, and you start to see the outline of an ancient interstellar saga starring a warrior race bound by honor and obsessed with the sacred ritual of the hunt. So what are the trophies really telling us when we read them in sequence? And when the mask finally lifts, who's the predator and who's the prey? Let's dive in. Circa 3000 BC. Long before recorded history, Earth's ancient civilizations hosted deadly visitors from the stars. A scene from Aliens vs. Predators 2004 reveals that it was the predators that taught humans how to build pyramids, becoming worshipped as gods in the process. Pyramids weren't just monuments, they were arenas, where young warriors would prove themselves or die. And the predators' gifts to humankind came at a cost. They demanded human sacrifices, using them to breed xenomorphs for the hunt. This epic history lesson is revealed in the inscriptions of the pyramid that's found under Antarctic ice in Aliens vs. Predators 2004, right before all hell breaks loose. But we'll be getting to that a bit later. According to these hieroglyphs, this hunting ritual came into existence around 2896 BC and established the cycle of battles between predators, humans, and aliens. Over centuries, human settlements were destroyed when predators detonated their self-destruct devices to contain xenomorph outbreaks. The remains of these events became lost to history, known only through myth. 841 AD. Age of Vikings. Predator Killer of Killers 2025 introduces a Viking clan led by a fearsome shield-maiden named Ursa. Ursa invades a rival tribe's land to avenge her father's death. After slaying her enemies, Ursa's warriors suddenly find themselves hunted by an unseen assailant. A predator has arrived amid the carnage and begins picking the Vikings off one by one. Ursa and her son Anders battle the cloaked alien. In a brutal confrontation, Ursa manages to kill the predator with a mix of ferocity and combat skill. Ursa survives as the lone witness to this grim encounter between Viking steel and advanced extraterrestrial technology. The timeline of the universe now jumps forward within the same film, taking us to feudal Japan. 1609 AD, feudal Japan. Killer of Killers' second story takes place in 1609 and introduces two samurai brothers, Kenji and Kiyoshi. These brothers duel to determine who should be their clan's heir. Kiyoshi wins, and Kenji then spends 20 years as a rogue ninja, shinobi, honing his skills in order to get even. 1629 AD. 20 years later, Kenji secretly returns, but his vendetta is overshadowed by the arrival of a high-ranked elite predator, stalking the ramparts of Kiyoshi's castle. Facing this common foe, Kenji and Kiyoshi reunite in battle. The samurai siblings fight side by side, matching blades and wits against the cloaked hunter. After the predator's stunning defeat, the Yautja's silence lingered for nearly a century until the 18th century approached. 1719, Northern America. The 18th century was among planet Earth's most brutal, war-torn eras. Against this backdrop, the Yautja saw a chance to once again test their fighting skills against mankind. Enter 2022's prey and its feral predator. A young Comanche named Naru watches a predator ship descend and sees her chance to prove herself. A predator, equipped with more rudimentary gear than in later eras, hunts across the plains, killing a viper, a wolf, and, memorably, a grizzly that puts up one hell of a fight. Naru encounters French fur trappers, who are also tracking the creature. They capture her and use her as bait, but the plan collapses as the predator, cloaked and lethal, massacres the voyageurs. Amid the chaos, Naru frees herself and her dog. The wounded trapper, Rafael Adolini, gives her a Spanish-made flintlock engraved Rafael Adolini 1715, later seen again in Los Angeles in 1997, as well as in 2025's Killer of Killers, introduced differently in the comics. The predator finishes Rafael and kills Naru's brother Tabe, leaving her to face the hunter alone. She is outmuscled and outgunned, but not outwitted. Under cover of darkness, Naru lures the predator into a trap, using a surviving trapper as bait. She shoots its biomask off before using its targeting system to target the predator. When he tries to shoot her, his own projectile is redirected into his head. Naru delivers the final blow, then returns to her village with the severed head and flintlock, proof of her kill and her rite of passage. Her tribe honors her as war chief for defeating the monster from the skies. 1904, Antarctica. Now we return to Aliens vs. Predator 2004. Nearly 2 centuries after the North American showdown, a remote Antarctic whaling settlement named Razorback Point receives a visit from our extraterrestrial friends. As seen in an extended cut and novelization lore, the Predators return to Earth for a coming-of-age trial, only to crash land into the ice. Investigating the disturbance, whalers stumble upon a xenomorph hive. They also wake a lone, hibernating predator who immediately attacks the whalers. Meanwhile, xenomorph creatures, spawned by facehuggers released from the pod, infest the camp. Caught in a battle between predator and aliens, the entire settlement is wiped out and hastily abandoned by morning, and Razorback Point becomes an icy ghost town. This forgotten tragedy set the stage for the events a century later, the ancient predator pyramid lying dormant under the ice until its next ritual. 1942. World War II. During the most lethal war in human history, the Yautja had no trouble finding worthy opponents to meet their requirements. While most duels in the franchise occur hand-to-hand, predators are happy to engage in the occasional dogfight, and that's what we see in the third chapter of Predator Killer of Killers. Amid the chaos of World War II's air war, fighter pilot Lieutenant John Torres encounters an enemy far beyond the Axis powers. While flying a Grumman Wildcat, Torres witnesses a mysterious aircraft attacking Allied and Axis planes alike. This is a predator in a highly advanced fighter ship, treating the war zone as a hunting ground. Only Torres and his commander Vandy survive the initial onslaught. Determined to fight back, Torres scrambles into a damaged fighter plane and takes off to challenge the predator. Captain Vandy distracts the alien pilot, sacrificing himself so Torres can get an opening. In a daring aerial duel, Torres uses his wits to outmaneuver the predator's ship. He tricks the predator into targeting its own hull, causing the alien craft to fatally damage itself, defeating and killing the predator. 1987. The Jungle, Central America. The iconic film that introduced the predator in all its might and gave us the iconic "Get to the Choppa." The year is 1987. A U.S. military rescue team led by Major Alan Dutch Schaefer, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is dispatched on a covert mission amid a guerrilla war. Dropped into dense jungle, Dutch's squad finds a downed helicopter and the skinned corpses of U.S. Special Forces team members, an ominous warning that something horrific is stalking the rainforest. The team soon realizes the mission is a setup. CIA operative Dylan, Dutch's old comrade, admits he used the team to eliminate the guerrilla warriors under false pretenses. With the firefight over, the American soldiers become the next targets for the jungle hunter predator. This predator is of the blooded rank and part of the jungle clan, which releases him to engage in this hunt. One by one, Dutch's highly trained men are eliminated. Dutch orders their hostage, Anna, to escape unarmed while he draws the predator's attention. The hunter is honor-bound to let her go. Their code forbids them from engaging or killing any creature that does not possess a threat. This key realization by Dutch saves her life. As night falls, he camouflages himself in mud, obscuring his body heat from the predator's thermal vision, before setting a series of primitive traps from logs, spikes, and explosives. The hunter, eager for a worthy fight, then removes its mask and plasma caster, revealing its grotesque, mandible-lined face, and engages Dutch in brutal hand-to-hand combat, but not before giving the iconic line, which is something he will call you if you don't leave a like. Dutch is outmatched by the predator's sheer size and strength, beaten and nearly defeated, but he tricks the alien into pursuing him through the trap-laden zone. In a last move, he triggers a weighted log trap that crushes the predator, critically wounding it. As the dying creature wheezes, it laughs mockingly and activates a wrist-mounted self-destruct device. A final attempt to take Dutch down. Dutch flees as a massive explosion erupts. At dawn, Dutch is rescued by helicopter, leaving behind a smoking crater. The government's knowledge of this encounter marks the start of their efforts to get their hands on one of these intergalactic killing machines. 1997, Los Angeles. 10 years after Dutch's encounter, predators return to Earth, this time to the sweltering urban jungle of Los Angeles in the 1990 sequel Predator 2. Lieutenant Mike Harrigan, played by Danny Glover, finds himself in the middle of a brewing nightmare, a threat that is far greater than the gang and drug wars tearing LA apart. He and his detectives encounter Peter Keyes, a federal agent heading a task force supposedly investigating the cartels. In truth, Keyes' team are predator hunters who have detected an alien presence in the city. Keyes hints at an incident in 1987 in Central America, where only 2 survivors made it out. When Keyes' team, clad in thermal cloaking suits and armed with cryogenic weapons, attempt to trap the predator in the slaughterhouse, Harrigan interferes, unwilling to stay on the sidelines. The plan fails spectacularly. The young-blood predator, seeing through the team's tactics by switching its vision to see their torchlight heat, attacks. It mauls Keyes' men. Keyes himself is killed by a cutting smart disc despite trying to freeze the creature. Harrigan confronts the predator with everything he's got, a shotgun, then the fallen smart disc. He even manages to shoot off the predator's biomask, impairing its vision. The chase goes onto a rooftop in the pouring rain. Harrigan wounds the alien and it attempts to escape by activating a medical kit and fleeing. Relentless, Harrigan follows the predator to its refuge, which turns out to be a cloaked spaceship hidden beneath an old building. Inside the Predator's ship, Harrigan discovers a trophy room containing skulls of many species, including a human skull and the distinctive elongated skull of a xenomorph. The injured city hunter attacks, and the final duel erupts within the spacecraft. Harrigan uses the Predator's own bladed smart disc in close combat, ultimately bisecting the alien's abdomen and killing it. The city hunter's entire clan uncloaks. They'd been watching all along. They retrieve their fallen comrade's body. An exhausted Harrigan awaits his inevitable death, but instead, the Predator Elder, Greyback, steps forward, honoring Harrigan's victory with a gift, an antique flintlock pistol engraved with Raphael Adolini 1715. This is the same pistol Naru had in 1719, hinting at an epic off-screen journey between hunts. Interestingly, Greyback actually dueled Adolini in the comics. Having emerged victorious, he held onto the weapon and waited for a warrior worthy of it. The Predators activate their ship's autopilot and vanish, leaving Harrigan alive amidst the alien technology and the trophy of an old pistol. The next time we see Predators, we'll have to go back to the Antarctic. 2004, Antarctica. A century after the 1904 whaling station incident, the dormant Predator pyramid beneath Bouvet Island awakens, detected as a heat bloom under the ice by Wayland Industries satellite PS-12. Alexa Lex Woods, a seasoned guide along with scientists, armed mercenaries, and archaeologists, travels to the abandoned whaling station on the island. Unbeknownst to them, they are walking into a timeless battleground. From orbit, a Predator mothership deploys 3 young Predator warriors for an initiation hunt: Scar, Celtic, and Chopper. Now, with all lore and events leading up to this point in the timeline, we get to see 2004's Alien vs. Predator. Chaos erupts in the labyrinthine underground pyramid. After facehuggers attack the Wayland expedition, Xenomorphs burst from the infected humans and mature rapidly into deadly adult aliens. Caught in the extraterrestrial crossfire, the humans are no match for either faction. 2 of the Predators, Celtic and Chopper, are ambushed and killed early by a particularly cunning xenomorph dubbed Grid. Nearly all humans are killed, leaving Lex as the only survivor. She decides her only shot at survival is to help Scar complete the hunt. Otherwise, if the aliens win, the Predators will activate a self-destruct that could wipe out everyone. They form an unlikely alliance. The entire pyramid becomes overrun with xenomorphs, but Lex and Scar make it out thanks to Scar's wrist bomb, which is deployed to blow up the pyramid and all remaining aliens and eggs. But the alien queen survives, pursuing Lex and Scar above ground, bursting out of the ice. In a fierce climactic battle, Lex and Scar fight side by side against the queen. They manage to topple the queen by chaining her to an ancient water tower tank and pushing it over a cliff. The queen plunges into the frigid ocean. The victory costs Scar dearly. He is mortally wounded by the queen's tail in the struggle. The alien queen sinks to an icy tomb on the seafloor, and Lex finds Scar collapsed from his injuries. Aboard the Predator ship, a new terror is about to be born. Scar's body, lying in state, contains an embryo implanted by a facehugger in the pyramid, setting the stage for the next battle. 2004, Colorado, USA. 2007's Alien vs. Predator Requiem is a continuation of the events in AVP. The Predator scout ship carrying Scar's body and other alien specimens crash lands in rural Colorado near the small town of Gunnison. The Pred-alien newborn and several facehugger pods are now loose on Earth. All Predators on board were killed in the crash except for one. He manages to send a distress signal before being slain by the rapidly growing Pred-alien. The Pred-alien matures into a queen-like creature, capable of implanting embryos directly into hosts. In a matter of hours, a full-scale xenomorph infestation takes root. Receiving the distress call on Yautja Prime is an elite Predator named Wolf. Wolf arrives on Earth, tasked with removing all traces of his people from the scene. Wolf then hunts the aliens across town. In a sewer, he kills several xenomorphs. A National Guard unit responding to the disturbance is ambushed and wiped out by aliens. As conditions deteriorate, Sheriff Morales coordinates with the National Guard in an effort to evacuate the entire town. Wolf battles through more xenomorph drones in the hospital, displaying incredible close combat prowess until finally confronting the Pred-alien. They engage in vicious hand-to-hand combat, tearing into each other while humans scramble to get to the chopper. Arnie would have been proud. Wolf manages to fatally stab the Pred-alien through the head with his wrist blades, just as the Pred-alien impales him with its inner jaw and tail. A mutual kill. If Wolf didn't drop his gear to fight hand-to-hand, do you think he would have won? Leave a comment down below and we'll check it out. A hovering military jet, commonly cited as a F-22 Raptor, locks onto the town center and drops a tactical nuclear bomb on Gunnison. The blast incinerates the entire town, vaporizing every alien, predator, and unfortunate civilian who failed to follow evacuation orders. 2010, the Game Reserve Planet. Predators takes place in 2010 and it ups the ante significantly in terms of Yautja brutality. This time, our key characters find themselves up against 3 superior predators in an alien environment. Adrian Brody, Walton Goggins, and other mercenaries fall out of the sky and into a jungle on what's known as the Game Reserve Planet. The group is stalked by a pack of extraterrestrial hounds. After surviving that attack, they come upon a predator camp where they see a classic predator tied to a cross, courtesy of a new, more powerful breed of predator. 3 of these attack the human group: Tracker, Falconer, and the ruthless Berserker. All are super predators, sometimes called Super Yautja or Black Clan Yautja. They are said to be disgraced Yautja as they do not follow the honor code, using dubious tactics in pursuit of their prey. The humans get a temporary reprieve courtesy of Nolan, an American air cavalry soldier played by Lawrence Fishburne, who has survived multiple hunting seasons on the planet. But he succumbs to Tracker, and in the ensuing battle, one of the mercs, Nikolai, sacrifices himself to kill Tracker. Hanzo duels the Falconer Predator in an open field with a katana he recovered, an epic samurai-style duel that claims the lives of both combatants. This leaves only the Berserker, the last but also the deadliest. Royce frees the crucified Predator, who then engages Berserker in a ferocious duel, using everything in their inventory from their cloaking equipment to the wrist blades. It ends with the beheading of the crucified after Berserker removes his helmet, revealing his unique look compared to the traditional Yautja. The humans then manage to maim the Berserker Predator in a grenade-laden trap, before Royce confronts him in a brutal showdown. Using the classic strategy of caked mud to hide his body heat from Predator vision, the wounded Isabel provides sniper cover and Royce removes Berserker's head using Yautja weaponry. Royce and Isabel have survived the game but are still stuck on the Predator planet. As dawn breaks, they witness new parachutes opening in the distant sky. The hunt will begin again. But for now, let's head back to Earth. 2018, Mexico and USA. A Predator ship crashes on Earth. Sniper Quinn McKenna briefly subdues the occupant and obtains some of his gear, mailing it off before Project Stargazer, led by Will Traeger, detains both him and the injured fugitive Predator. The fugitive escapes the lab, killing armed personnel but sparing unarmed biologist Dr. Casey Brackett, and sets off to recover its confiscated tech. It's effectively a defector bringing something to aid humanity against larger gene-enhanced predators, a motive the film implies rather than states outright. Meanwhile, Quinn's son Rory inadvertently activates the Predator gear conveniently in time for Halloween. Less conveniently, a second, much larger, genetically augmented predator arrives, kills the fugitive, and seeks the same cargo. Traeger seizes Quinn's squad, the Loonies, and abducts Rory, hoping to utilize his knack for predator tech. At the crash site, the larger predator slaughters soldiers. Traeger tries a predator weapon and accidentally blows off his own head. The Predator launches its ship with Rory aboard. Quinn's team jumps onto the hull during liftoff, and Nebraska sacrifices himself by diving into an engine, forcing a crash. On the ground, Quinn, Brackett, and Rory work together, using Predator weaponry to kill the augmented hunter. In the aftermath, a recovered pod from the first Predator ship is opened in a lab. It contains an advanced exosuit, the Predator Killer, a gift intended to help humans confront future Predator threats on more equal terms. Quinn signals he'll be the one to wear it. And with that, the franchise leaves Earth and the present behind. The next chapter of the franchise will take us into the future. The future, planet Genna. Predator Badlands sits at the far end of the saga's chronology. No official in-universe year has been announced as of now, but signs point to it being the first film in the Predator or AVP franchises to take place in the future. Set on a hostile off-world where a young outcast Yautja, Dek, forges an uneasy alliance with Thea, a Weyland-Yutani synthetic, with her twin synth Tessa looming as a foil. The Weyland-Yutani detail alone pushes the setting beyond the corporation's 22nd century rise in alien canon. We expect a survival chapter that flips series grammar. Dek's rite of passage is sabotaged, his clan's honor code strained, and Thea, damaged but calculating, maps the planet's kill zones while their bond evolves from pragmatic partnership into taboo trust. Stylistically, this entry reads like a frontier western by way of alien tech, sun-blasted badlands, ritual steel against composite alloys, and improvised traps that echo Dutch and Naru but at planetary scale. The perfecting of the Weyland-Yutani synthetics indicates that the movie could even take place as much as 3 centuries after the company's creation. Possibly even after Ellen Ripley's death in Alien 3, but until Badlands finally drops, all we can do is guess. With Weyland-Yutani hunting predators and xenomorphs, what period do you think this film is set in? And do you think the corporation will finally get their hands on a xenomorph in this movie? Or will they settle for a Yautja capture and link in with alien Earth? Let us know down below in the comments. Until then, stay safe, honor the code, and like and subscribe.